Growing up, I was particularly fortunate from basically 4 months of age through until I was about 50, early 50s, to be able to spend summers in what's called cottage country, north of Toronto, Canada. And up until the time I was about probably 10 or 11 years old, our particular cottage did not have electricity. It was quite rustic. I had to take a boat to get into it, and it was just idyllic. I loved it. I miss it greatly. But one of the things of not having electricity is your entire lighting after the sun goes down is by kerosene lamps. They're also known as hurricane lamps in other parts of the country. And I thought I'd like to build one because, quite honestly, I love the looks of them. We have pretty good electric supply here, but that doesn't mean we couldn't have a good storm and the electricity go out for a day or so. So having a couple of these oil lamps around is a very good idea. So let's build one. Alright, I'm going to stack these and glue them, but I'm going to take off the surface a little bit. These are pretty rough and they're pretty old, so. And here's what our base is looking like after it came off the lathe. Got some sanding done. Now what happens next is it goes back onto the bandsaw, and I think maybe if you look really closely you can see that there's an outline there. And we're going to cut that out so that there's a place for the oil lamp to sit. Now this may seem like a pretty rough way to approach this, to take out the center portion. But the fact of the matter is, if you put a cut in here, it's a very important element to keeping this hurricane lamp going, because you're allowing air to be able to flow in from the bottom. Because otherwise, when that chimney is sitting down in here, it's really cutting off all the oxygen that you need for that lamp to keep going. So having a slice coming in from the back, and a fairly good sized one, isn't a bad idea. Will keep this burning just very nicely. Well, we've got that little patch in there, nicely glued in. So I think I'll just flatten this off with my my sanding board. Well, if we're going to make an oil lamp, a hurricane oil lamp, we have to make an oil lamp. We can't just buy an oil lamp. And that's in fact the basis of the oil lamp. Pretty cute, but I'm going to wreck it. This is actually a baby food jar I picked it up at the supermarket. It cost 69 cents. If I'd gone to the dollar store to buy that exact same thing, it would have cost me $1. So, I'll tell you what, the baby food wasn't at all tasty, but it was a pretty good bargain. So, what's going to happen is our hole's going to be put in the top. And I like to make a wick holder, and that's what I make them out of. Just a flex brush. Works out to be a pretty good size. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to use a 3/16 drill bit to make a bit of an oblong hole here. That should work. Now, rather than round, I'm going to be squeezing that down so that it's in the oblong shape that it'll fit into the cap. This isn't a very delicate operation, but this is very malleable stuff, so it's pretty easy to work this. And since this is the wick holder, I'm going to want to take, 3/4 of an inch, something on that order, maybe 15 to 20 millimeters. And I'm going to cut that off on the bandsaw. I find this is pretty difficult stuff to try and cut with a hacksaw. But I think we're in pretty good shape with that one, so let's see if it fits. Whew, better than normal. Just as easy as that. And as one just extra little safety precaution, I like to put an extra vent hole in the top because in the course of operation this cap tends to get a little warm, and there are some circumstances where the gas inside of the bottle tends to expand, and if you've overfilled the bottle, what that can lead to is pushing out of some of the liquid through the wick holder. So this is a way to avoid that problem. Just one little extra hole in there keeps the pressure buildup equalized. I'm going to make a wick. Sure, you can buy them, but you can make some right out of good old cotton cord. Butcher's twine is what they're calling it. But you should avoid anything that's got nylon in it, just straight cotton. Here's the kind of stuff that I strongly recommend burning in these lamps. Kerosene, just regular old K, 1K or K1, whatever it is. It's been a long time since I used it. Regular old kerosene is inexpensive, but when you burn it like this, it throws out a lot of soot. And you know, if you burn it a lot, it gets on the walls and things like that. So this is a highly purified oil, and it really is throws out no odor, and it doesn't throw any soot. And the next thing that I'm going to suggest is that you never fill up your reservoir more than that. Always leave some space. And now that's going to take a little while before it actually starts to saturate the wick, but we'll come back and give that a try after a while. Well, it's been 45 minutes or so. Let's see if this lights up. That'll burn down. It's throwing off plenty of soot right now, but then the wick is way too far out. There it is. I think we got it trimmed up nicely now. Let's make this top look a little more grown up. So here are the pieces for my hurricane lamp. This could have all been done just on a bandsaw, but I decided to put a little extra lines on it when on the lathe. 69 cents for the bottle, and made the wick myself. About $6 or $7 for the chimney. And you can see what I've done here is put some little felt dots so that it grabs hold of this collar a little better. And just sitting around the fire, this adds quite a nice environment. Or, if the electricity goes off, you've got something to see by. Come on back, I've got some more things to show you later.